those people? They're lazy. And those people over there, they don't think like us. And those people in that country, those people. I've heard it all my life. Not too long ago, I was at a civic organization, and I was speaking about fair trade and the impact of fair trade and opportunity on the lives of people in developing countries, and I thought it was really getting through. I was talking, and we got to the question and answer session, and the gentleman over to the left, who had been sitting quietly, looked at me, and I heard him ask a question, and then I heard, those people over there. And the rest was blah, blah, blah. As I tuned it out. I looked at him kind of startled, and I said, really? That's what you found when you were over there? Need and greed and poverty? You know what his answer was? I ain't never been there. So let me tell you about when I was there. I was hiking from Honduras to Panama, and I was somewhere in northeastern Nicaragua in the Matagalpa region, also known as Sandinista territory. I had left 2 friends behind and was hiking a distance of about 10 kilometers by myself before I met up with another friend. And for the first time in days, I was by myself and I got lost in my thoughts. And then the rain started to fall. That straight down summer rain that just makes you want to stop, open your mouth, swallow the rain, and stomp in a mud puddle. I was halfway swinging around a palm tree, Fred Astaire style, when I realized I was lost. Yeah. Somewhere I had wandered off the main path onto a side, well-worn path that the locals use to carry bananas and coffee beans and sticks up and down the mountain. So I found a big palm tree, and I grabbed a palm frond and hunkered down under the palm tree, waiting on the rain to stop before I pulled out my crudely drawn map that was not waterproof. And I'm sitting there when this woman goes trucking past me. A weathered, worn woman of undetermined age, but probably somewhere around 80 due to her leathered skin. And she's booking it past me. She gets about 15 feet past me and stops, looks back, sees the blue-eyed gringo lost and alone in the jungles of Nicaragua. Insert that Sesame Street song. One of these things, not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong. That was me. So she motions to me and says follow her, and I follow her about a quarter of a mile. We get to her hut. A wood, crepe, cinder block, stick, palm frond hut. The torrential rain is coming and taking her dirt floor with it. And she motions me in, and I go in. And there's an old cot with blankets folded up to form a mattress. A rickety table with a Coleman stove sitting on it that some campers probably left behind. On the Coleman stove were 2 pots. One with rice, one with beans. She dipped up a bowl and handed it to me and stuck a cup out the door to catch the rain. Her English was bad, non-existent, my Spanish even worse. She motions to me because international pantomime of wait here is understood. She comes back a few moments later with a young girl who speaks English, and I told her who I was meeting and what village he was in. And again, I was told to wait. About an hour later, Eduardo showed up, laughing at me, a directionally challenged American. And we set out on our way. I try to offer thanks to the woman. I try to pay her for her hospitality. And I'm told that that was an insult. After we got a short distance away, Eduardo told me that if I wanted to do something for the woman, I could send her a thank you gift. Because she had just given me the last food that she had. The directionally challenged American had taken the last bowl of rice and beans this woman who lived in the stick hut had. Yeah, those people over there, they're not like us, thankfully. See, wherever I have gone, I have always looked for the good in people. What do they have to offer? And every single time I have found it. Yeah, there's bad, there's good, there's bad everywhere. But you're going to find what you perceive as there. Let me tell you a story of some other travelers. There was a traveler walking down the road, and he came to a fork in the road, and there was an old man sitting there resting on the rock. So he asked the old man, "What do you know about that village up there on the hill?" And the old man said, "Well, why? Why do you want to know?" "Well, I'm trying to find a new place to live. You see, the place I came from, the people are rude and they're selfish and they don't care about one another, and I want to find a nice place to live." "Well, then don't go there, because you'll find exactly the same kind of people." A bit later, as the old man was rising from his rest and about to continue on his way, another traveler came along and said, "Do you know anything about the village on the hill?" And the old man said, "Well, why?" "Well, I'm looking for a new place to call home. I hate to leave my village. The people are kind and they're wonderful, but I need work, and I have to find a new place to live. And I'd really like to find a place like my home." And the old man told him, "Go there, for that's what you will find." You find what you look for. Your perception of a person and how you understand them. Your perception of a person and how you understand them affects your interactions. You hear a restaurant is good, you're going to go there expecting good food. You hear it's not so good, you're not even going to bother. "Oh, she probably doesn't like that kind of music. He probably doesn't like that kind of food. Well, they wouldn't want it." We're already affecting our interactions and our opportunities with that other person. With my store, I work with artisan cooperatives in 57 countries. And I try to share the stories of the people who make the items, because it's a good way to break down the stereotypes. It's not about their religion or their ethnicity, it's about their art, and you get to hear their story, and you get to find out that they are just like us. They want opportunity, they want dignity, they want a better life for their children. But you've got to stop and hear the stories. You've got to not have perceptions of what you think that person might be. Those people over there, they don't have to be a country away. They can also be a community away. I live in Southeast Lake, and the perception of those people over there, or there, is that east? Is that they're dangerous. They live off the government, and I should fear for my life. When my dog died, my neighbor down the street, who I hardly knew but had waved at me every morning as I would walk, found out my dog died and brought me a bundt cake. Because that's what you do when family dies. So those people in Eastlake, fear them. They come bearing bundt cakes. But I know that the perception of Eastlake is just one part of the deal. There's also the perception of the white girl on the corner. And that's what I was when I moved into the neighborhood. I was that white lady on the corner. But Eric and Ryan and Bert decided my dogs were cool. And they really are very cool dogs. Tank and PJ. And the kids would come over and knock on my door and ask if Tank and PJ could come out and play. And I got to know them. And one day, one of their friends started coming around and playing, and suddenly I had kids in my yard all the time playing with my dogs. But then Charles wasn't there one day, and I asked them, "Where's Charles?" And Bert said, "And he's mad, we're always riding his bicycle." Kids need bikes. So I put out a call. "Hey, anybody got any old bikes that kids about grown, they're not using? I got some kids who would like to have some bikes." And the Southeast Lake Bike Project was born. 55 kids got bicycles last year, but I didn't just give them bicycles. They earned bicycles. They did community service for our community. The older kids cut grass, the younger kids picked up trash, And I would get out there with them, 40-gallon trash bag in hand, and we'd go down the street and we're picking up trash. And it wasn't just about picking up the trash. It was about talking to the kids and telling them, so what do you want to be when you grow up? So have you decided whether you're going to be president or you're just going to run a major corporation? What do you think? The kids looked at me a little differently. I believed in them, and they exceeded my expectations. A door came up and did his community service work and came back and asked for a second bag because he said, I almost finished the block, but I didn't fit it all in the bag, and I just want the whole block to look good. He went above and beyond. And Terrence and a couple of other kids came up to do their project, and Terrence was helping some of the younger kids, and he was holding the bag open while they were putting the trash in it. And by the time they finished and he got started on his pickup, it started to rain. And he was about 3/4 full, and I said, you know, man, you're good. Take your bike, take your helmet, ride safe. Be a gentleman and a scholar. And he rode off, but 3 days later he came back and said, I need to finish my part of the bargain. Yeah, those lazy kids over in East Lake. I am no longer the white lady on the corner. I'm the bike lady. That's what they call me. I was walking Tank and PJ last night, and I hear this kid across the parking lot going, hey, bike lady! Hey, how are you? And it's pretty cool because they have changed their perception of me. One morning, I was getting up, and I heard a knock at the door. And I go to my front door, which is mostly glass, and there's a little boy standing there doing this. And I go to the door, and I'm like, hi, sweetheart, what's going on? He's like, do you know where Robinson Elementary is? Well, yeah, I do. Do you want me to take you? Are you lost? Are you scared of my dogs? Go to the bottom of the stairs, and I'm going to put on my tennis shoes, and I'll meet you up front, okay? So I get my dogs, and I go around, and I meet him at the front. And my house sits up on a hill. You've got to go up 37 stairs to get to my front door. So as we're walking to Robinson Elementary, he tells me his name is Antoine. And I said, Antoine, what grade are you in? 3rd. Does your mom usually take you to school? But today she had to go into work early, huh? All I could get out of him was a yes and no, a short answer. And I finally looked at him and said, so Antoine, what made you come up to my door? Well, everybody knows the bike lady, and you like dogs, and you like kids, and you take my auntie to ride to court, and I knew you could help. Okay, bike lady for directions. I got that. I can do this. My perception of East Lake was of an opportunity to stabilize the neighborhood and meet some interesting people. My neighbors are doctors and lawyers, but they're also construction workers and retired veterans and healthcare workers. There are people trying to put one foot in front of the other one and make a better life for their kids. And I'm no longer the white lady on the corner. I'm their neighbor. Our perceptions of each other have changed. And if we set aside our perceptions of what the other person is, those people over there, maybe we can see them for what they are rather than what we perceive them to be. Because from what I have learned, those people over there, they're worth getting to know. And at the very least, if we don't change the world, maybe we can help the Antoines of the world find their way to school.